This cheeky dinosaur that you see dancing on the screen is something that can assure social distance. And as one dinosaur to another, I think it's also something special. Not only is it a cheeky guy, but it's also not an ordinary dinosaur. It's not ordinary because it has a minor modification made to it that helps it to filter out atmospheric aerosols. And so if you're perhaps somebody who works in a shop and has contact with the general public, or you're going to go to a lecture at your university, or perhaps you work in a school or attend one, or if you're thinking about public transport, or if you're thinking about and yearning about the festivals you missed over the summer. It could be useful in a lab, it could be useful for the football, and perhaps most importantly, it could be an excellent thing to dress up grandma and grandpa in to make your family gatherings a little bit more safe. It could be something that you could use at a rave. It could be something you could take to the cricket. It's something that you could use anywhere where you're thinking you need to have fun. You need an inflatable dinosaur costume. You need some high quality dust bags for a vacuum cleaner. You need some duct tape. Not shown are some scissors. You're going to need some extra batteries because this particular dinosaur costume uses them quite quickly. The next thing that you need to do is to unpack your dinosaur. When you unpack your dinosaur, you'll probably be surprised at how remarkably big they can be. But when you first unpack them, they're a little bit depressed because, of course, they're not inflated, and actually there's no way to inflate them at first, and that's what this hole is for. You're going to mount a blower assembly right at that location. The blower assembly looks something like this, and in this packet you'll also notice there's a pair of dinosaur mittens, and these might give a little bit of extra protection. Once you've unpacked it and you're going to install your blower, it's important to understand how it works. When turned on, the air flows in through this part and then is blown out in the direction shown. There's also a retaining ring, and that retaining ring is going to be used to then attach the blower assembly to the outside of the dinosaur. The next thing I need you to do is to get one of your vacuum cleaner bags, and you're going to need the retainer ring, and you're going to need a pen. And what you're going to do is you're going to trace around the inside of the retaining ring, as I've done here, and then once you have that mark on the vacuum cleaner bag, you're going to cut a hole in that location. Once you've done that, you can thread the power cord out through the hole in the dust bag where the dust normally enters. The next thing I recommend is that you test the power. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on, and that's going to cause the vacuum cleaner bag to inflate slightly. It's going to inflate even though there's still a hole where the power cord comes out through the place where the dust would normally come in. So what we're going to do next is we need to seal that with some duct tape. So what you're going to do is you're going to cover the entrance of the dust bag with some duct tape, and then you're going to install the blower and the assembly, including the vacuum cleaner bag, on your dinosaur. And when you've done that, it will look just like an ordinary dinosaur. We are now done with the modifications of our dinosaur, but what we want to do now is to test it. Does it work? I tested it with a small particulate monitor. I first measured the ambient particulate levels, and I used the smallest size fraction, which had a value of 5028. These are the smallest atmospheric aerosols and the most difficult to remove. I then measured it after I had installed everything inside the dinosaur, and the smallest size fraction has been reduced to 117. If you do the math, that's 2.34% of the ambient aerosol is still getting into the dinosaur. So it's 97+% efficient. A little bit of fine print. COVID is serious, as are atmospheric aerosols. This is meant as a bit of fun, and it will help a little bit. I can't test yours, you have to do that, and any use of this design is at your own risk. There are two weak points in this design. One is the seal around the blower, and the other is the duct tape that seal the vacuum cleaner bag around the power cord. This is a protect me design. If you wish to protect others still, you should still be wearing a mask inside. With that in mind, have fun and play safe. Do you want to make your own? If you do, there's a couple things that you might need. The first is the dinosaur costume. I used the product from Amazon that is shown. I chose one that had a larger fan and I wanted fast delivery. If you're willing to wait a little bit longer, you can find lower cost options. If you don't like the color of my dinosaur, or you don't really like dinosaurs in general, just be aware that there are other colors available, and that you can also get sharks and polar bears. For this particular dinosaur, there is a USB connector on the blower, and that means that if you have a large USB battery pack, that will give you an extended service. I found that it ran down the batteries, the AA's, quite quickly. Alternately, you could get an extension cord and a standard USB charging point, and that will allow you to run it indefinitely. The particulate monitor that I used, I purchased from Banggood. It cost less than the dinosaur itself. It was only a little bit over £20 in the UK. With that said, I'm sure a few of you are wondering, is this guy for real and does he really mean it? Let me put it this way. An inflatable dinosaur is part of this survivalist's go bag. Having finished all this, the purpose of it was to have fun. So here's some fun.